right there off the start. We are in our new digs up here in the top of the tower, and it looks like CJ Greaves got the whole shot, but we got a couple of them flipped over.
Yeah, it looks like CJ, sorry Jim, CJ taking that whole shot.
Yeah, CJ with the whole shot. Robert Lawar, coming off a big podium at Bark River, and he is in second now behind CJ Greaves. So they go up and over that Polaris Razor legendary leap. Lawar getting a little bit of pressure though.
Yeah, definitely has a lot of pressure in that second place spot. Look at CJ way up against the wall early. Here comes Kyle Greaves.
Yeah, that number 34 tucking in there. Kyle Greaves trying to get around Robert Lawar.
Wow, a lot of contact. The track really with a lot of moisture on top of it. The water is laying right now. CJ well out in front early.
Big lead for the number 33 of CJ Greaves. Into the Polaris Razor gravel pit, pushing way high in that Monster Energy back drive.
Yeah, CJ, he's out front. That's bad news for everyone else, but he came into this weekend. He wants to win as many races as possible, and anytime, like we talked earlier when we were in the booth, that we said, anytime you get more track time, more seat time, it helps a lot. You watch the track develop throughout the day.
Lawar there, moving back to the third spot, getting some pressure now from the 90. That's Zach Zakowski.
Zakowski looking to the bottom. Lawar just fast enough to keep him behind, but right now, Kyle Greaves opening up that gap just a little bit more. He would love to beat his cousin for that ring race.
Yeah, ring race coming tomorrow, but today it is all about the points here in Pro Stock UTV. CJ Greaves out front, Kyle Greaves in second, Robert Lawar in third, and that is Zach Zakowski there in the third spot, the number 90.
Here comes Lawar on the bottom side of Kyle Greaves. We'll see if he can make that stick. They're side by side. This is where it gets tricky, gets really, really tight on that left-hander.
Yeah, Lawar trying to slingshot around the outside. Looks like he might have a run, but something going on there. He fell off the pace there.
Yeah, something, I don't know what happened, got out in that fluff. Here comes Zakowski.
Yeah, Robert Lawar went from trying to make a pass for second, almost slipping into fourth place. Has that Polaris Razor RS1 absolutely singing. Number 54 there, Jeremy Houle, diving all the way to the inside, trying to get around Zakowski.
Wow, and he does. We'll see if Zakowski gets that run. They're side by side once again. Zakowski bond-tying off that Polaris Razor jump.
Look at Houle all the way to the outside, trying to slingshot by. Oh, we got a little bit of contact there with Zakowski and Houle. So right now it's Kyle Greaves, Robert Lawar, Houle, and Zakowski second through fourth. Meanwhile, CJ Greaves out on his own planet in the first spot.
Yeah, CJ's not even in our camera right now. He's that far. He's checked out on the field. Remember, we have that mandatory competition caution, so it'll reset him. But right now, we're just started this race.
It looks like Houle diving down to the inside there of Robert Lawar, trying to get around, not going to have enough. Lawar is going to get around Kyle Greaves. Kyle Greaves giving a little love tap to Robert Lawar in the RS1.
Well, Lawar, he looked really, really fast. He did, Jim. He was looking on the inside, looking on the outside, finally got around Kyle Greaves.
So now Greaves getting a little pressure from Houle as it brings out the mandatory competition caution to mark the halfway point here. 4 in of 8 in Pro Stock UTV. So it brings out our Polaris Razor Pace vehicle. Sorry we were a little late on the call. Brent Smith and I were in the Yokohama Tires barn, had to hoof it all the way to the top of the tower. Changing our digs. Got a little bit better view up here, Brent Smith, but that was That was a hike through the crowd, and I got to tell you, this crowd, max capacity here today. I have made that hike many times. I have never done it with that many people, and I say that in the best possible way. It is standing room only here at Crandon. There is chairs in places I never thought you would see chairs at Crandon.
I know it was 10 minutes we only had to get back up into this booth, and it took all 10 minutes just to get here.
So right now it is CJ Greaves on a planet of his own in Pro Stock. We've got Robert Loire there in second, Kyle Greaves in third, and then it is Hool, followed by the number 90 of Zach Zakowski as our top 5. Those 5 have all been slicing and dicing, for the exception of CJ Greaves, who has been out front and had a solid run. But I tell you what, 2nd through 4th or 5th, they have all swapped positions, Brent.
Yeah, they have. They're battling for that 2nd place spot right now, and now they get another shot at CJ. That Monster Energy 33 ride, he has every duck in a row. He knows what he wants to do. But if it's up to Zakowski, it's up to Hool, they really need to take a shot early, because you've seen what happened in the first half, Jim. You let CJ get some breathing room, he'll leave.
Yeah, Robert Loire going to have to put pressure on CJ Greaves very, very soon, right off the drop of the green flag. You don't want CJ Greaves to get any kind of clean air, as we are going to be looking to go green flag racing. CJ Greaves going to be looking for the green flag. It is out. CJ with a big jump there on Robert Loire. Loire trying to chase him down. Kyle Greaves in the 3rd spot.
Yeah, Loire, it didn't look like he stayed on the back side of CJ. CJ opened up about a 3-4 car length gap, and Hool going way upside.
That RS1 of Robert Loire, that single-seater, super lightweight, and looking to make that lightweight work to his advantage right now as he tucks all the way to the inside of CJ Greaves.
Wow, he's trying everything.
Nothing there as they go side by side over the finish line. CJ going to re-inherit the 1st spot. Loire trying to
CJ pushes. That's a rare mistake by CJ Greaves, pushing that front end.
You know, Loire, you got to give this guy a lot of credit. He has put in the homework with his RS1, started a year ago here at Crandon, and it has slowly got faster and faster. And right now, we're seeing him dice it with the best in the business, CJ Greaves, and he is giving CJ Greaves everything he can handle.
He is. He's throwing everything at CJ Greaves. And watching the gravel pit, let's see 2 different lines. CJ staying in the bottom. Loire gonna stay, he's staying right around where CJ was going, but that exit looks a little bit better.
And Loire, he's gonna dive all the way to the inside here in the finish line corner.
CJ just backing it in like
Look at that, Loire got an
Ford.
opening. They're side by side over the finish line. CJ gonna have the line coming into this next corner. Loire just tucking in nice and tight. CJ can't shake this RS1 of Robert Loire.
Man, that shows you how far that RS1 has come, Jim. You talked about it earlier. They are bad fast, and anytime you can hunt down CJ Greaves, you're doing something right.
CJ Greaves seems to be a sitting duck right now with a number 52 Polaris RS1 right behind him. Wow, we have never seen CJ Greaves with this kind of pressure before.
Absolutely not, Jim. He usually gets out front and leaves, but Loire, he's doing everything he needs to do. Zakowski's still in 3rd.
And look at that, Loire all the way to the inside. He's trying to get a run on CJ up the Polaris Razor legendary leap.
Remember, he likes this bottom side right here. He likes to go to the bottom. CJ, look at, you don't tell me they're not talking.
There was a lot of protecting there as the yellow flag comes out. CJ Greaves going to get a momentary breather, but man, the man of the race, Robert Loire on that number 52. CJ Greaves in Pro Stock, we've known him to run away with things. There is no running and hiding today. Robert Loire, he has found some juice in that Polaris Razor RS1, and he has given CJ Greaves all he can handle right now.
Yeah, he really is. And it could be tire combination, maybe a little bit better bite, and he's just using every bit of the track. That's what I like to see. And I've noticed as that track has packed in throughout this facility, Loire's car has been quicker than CJ Greaves.
Yeah, CJ running that protect line, and Loire just not able to get around him. But right now, you got to wonder with, I believe we might be having a green-white checkers potentially, but Loire going to have one more shot here at CJ Greaves to make something stick.
You wonder, we were talking about it right when it went to caution. You see CJ, he was protecting that bottom side. So yes, he had communication, spotter help, because that's what they're there for. They're not telling you how to drive the car, but they're letting you know where he's beating you or you're losing time.
So this has been a fun one so far, but the story of the day right now, it is CJ Greaves and Robert Loire sitting in first and second. Zakowski in the third spot, Kyle Greaves in the fourth spot. And then we got the 957 of Cheek making his way all the way into the top 5. Great run by Cheek, who started farther back in the field. But right now it is all about that battle for first. CJ Greaves, Robert Loire. Who is it gonna be? Loire been setting passes up and just not able to make it stick. You gotta think he's under that helmet knowing he's got one more shot at making this happen and taking a not a world championship, that comes tomorrow for this division, but a victory here in Pro Stock UTV.
Trying to get everyone lined up in their right positions. And right now we know that CJ Greaves is out front, but Loire, our eyes are on that 52. Don't count out Zakowski or Kyle Greaves.
All right, so we are sitting here with about a lap remaining in Pro Stock side by side. CJ Greaves leading, Robert Loire in the second spot. Then it's Zakowski. It is Kyle Greaves in the number 34 and Lunderby in the number 55. We go back to Hager, Hool, Cheek, Kenny Mash, and the number 98 of Enlow in your top 10. So some heavy hitters in the top 10, Brent Smith. But right now, the two drivers we are zeroed in on, CJ Greaves, Robert Loire. We're having a great battle there for the top spot.
Yeah, and look at them. Nobody wants to give or take an inch. They're just sitting right on the back of one another, waiting for this restart. And right now, that Monster Energy Ride 33, it's fast. It is. I mean, but the 52, Loire, he's doing what he needs to do. There's two different tire brands on each one of those cars. And you notice he's running those Hoosier tires. You wonder how those things are biting late in the race. I heard a lot of rumors about them. They really like the dry, hard-packed surface as we're about to go back green. Can CJ Greaves break away from Loire, or can Loire make that pass?
Time will tell as we're going to go back to green flag racing here in just a moment. CJ Greaves is going to be taking us to the stripe. Green flag is out. Green flag is out. We are back to racing here in Pro Stock side by side. Robert Loire taking a look at that rear bumper of CJ Greaves. He's going into the gravel pit, going way wide. He's going to try that outside inside. CJ diving down low, trying to protect.
CJ running that nice bottom side line. He did a nice apex, came out, still kept that 2-car length gap.
Loire down low. CJ protecting.
Yeah, CJ really knows where Loire wants to go, and it's probably messing with his head. He doesn't understand. He understands, but he's just like, man, I was quicker than you there, and now he figured it out.
Yeah, it looks like CJ getting a little bit of breathing room there from Robert Loire. Loire sitting back, probably stalking a little bit. They're up past the VIP suites. Coming down into the Polaris Razor gravel pit, Loire putting some pressure on CJ. Nothing quite there yet. Loire making a little bit of a mistake there, cost him a little time as the white flag comes out for CJ Greaves. Robert Loire gonna have one lap left to try and make something happen here.
Man, I don't know, Jim, if there's enough time. He knows he can get to the back bumper of CJ, but CJ kind of figured out a little bit faster lines this second half, and that's what's cool about CJ Greaves. He'll pick apart a track.
Oh, look at that. We've got another one up and over.
Man, you wonder what's going to happen. This is coming right to the end. If that car's upside down, Loire, he's not going to like this.
CJ pushing way high. We got the yellow flag out. That's going to put a pause on things. So we will have a green-white checker situation. That is the number 10 there, Rob Steyer.
Looks like Steyer is okay. Window net's still up, so that's a good sign. Maybe get back underwear and just take a look at your screen. Coming in a little hot and heavy on that bottom side, and doesn't take much.
No, and those ruts starting to get formed in that corner there. Car looks to be in pretty solid shape. Steyer moving around in there.
Track crew doing a fine job once again. The safety crew always on board, helping out. Steyer, it sounds like he's got that thing refired. We'll see if he can continue.
Bringing out the stiff rope. They're going to Steyer and the number 10 pulled off. They're going to try and restart this thing in what is going to be a green-white checker situation.
Yeah, it's definitely something else wrong with that number 10 car.
Yeah, it looks like something's locked up in it, maybe.
I don't know, he wants to try to take off again. We'll see. Well, he's going to prove us wrong, Jim.
Yeah, he's got her going.
Yeah, there's something else wrong with that car. He's waving his arms.
Still got some problems there with the number 10. That is Rob Steyer. Had that roll over there. Looks like they're trying to get things going. He's got it in gear. Looks like he's able to keep continuing on here. Got that door kind of flapping in the breeze. It's our Polaris Razor Pace vehicle. Brings CJ Greaves around. So in what is shaping up to be green-white checker, Robert Loire going to have one more shot to make something happen against CJ Greaves. He has been there all race long, stalking CJ. CJ getting pressure like we haven't seen before, Brent. Loire, he knows the line CJ runs now. What corner do you think he's going to try and make something happen in?
I don't know, and we just talked about it. We know CJ knows where he's going to go, but you got to try to be different. You had all this race to run behind him, and you got a chance to study. You know CJ is going to go in the fastest line, but you have to try to outsmart him. I know it's CJ Greaves, but Robert Loire, he's been around a long time, so maybe he has something up his sleeve.
Yeah, Loire going to have to pull something out if he wants to take a victory here. We saw him on the podium at Bark River. Once again, he is in podium contention here, but he'd like to move from that second spot to the top of the box, but CJ Greaves getting around him, it is easier said than done. One of the most dominant drivers in this class over the past couple of seasons, but CJ Greaves got his hands full right now with that RS1 of Robert Loire. So continue to be paused here. Trying to get everything reset so we can go racing. So immediately following this race, we are going to move into a Ponzi Super Buggy, and then we're going to move into Pro Mod side by side. Then we're going to shift gears and go pro racing with Pro 2, Pro Light, and Pro 4, and then winding out the evening's racing festivities. It's going to be Ultra 4s on the Ultra Cross course, and then later tonight at 8:30, we got a concert right here at the Big House with Vic Ferrari. So we got a big pause here in the action as we get all these cars uprighted and off the track, get things cleaned up, had some fenders laying around. You can see the glistening there in the background, Brent. All those tear-offs drivers have thrown out the window. How many tear-offs do you think these drivers go through during a Crandon weekend? I mean, total.
I don't know.
We got 300 drivers. They all got stacks. I'd say we're at like 20,000 tear-offs.
Oh, guaranteed. You know everyone that goes into a race, you put at least 20, 30 of them if you know there's a lot of moisture to begin. I mean, when it's blue-grooved in that, you normally don't have to worry about
just stacks of tear-offs all over.
You'd be picking them up.
I'm going to get in the tear-off business.
Cool shot.
Yeah, these drivers just sitting there. Car's cooling off now a little bit. will say sometimes a situation such as this, a car like Robert Loire's, it's actually going to run a lot better right after the green flag drop. Those Polaris Razors, belt-driven vehicles. CJ Greaves, he's got a gearbox in his. Sometimes those belts start to overheat, things start slipping, the car isn't quite as quick. Now we've let Robert Loire's car cool down, let that belt is cooled down. Now that thing's not going to slip as much. Robert Loire's going to have a really good shot here. So it's going to be interesting to see the way things shape out. CJ Greaves is going to be looking for the green-white checkered here. And we are going to wrap things up here with Pro Stock side by side. But look at Robert Loire all over the back bumper of CJ Greaves. Zukowski in there in the third spot, looking to make something happen. CJ getting a bit of a jump on Loire.
He did again. He got a really good jump. That stinks for Loire. Loire had nowhere to go. He just checked up on him a little bit, and that's all it took. CJ opened up a little gap. Here comes Loire again.
Loire all the way to the outside. CJ got to play the protect line. Loire diving to the inside. Nothing there. Loire's going to try and take some momentum and try and shot past CJ Greaves. I don't know if he's going to have enough with one corner to go. Over the Polaris Razor, legendary leap. It is CJ Greaves, Robert Loire, 1-2. Greaves protecting, nothing there for Loire.
Absolutely nothing. It's going to be CJ Greaves, Jim, with the win.
Robert Loire going to take second in the Polaris Razor RS1, and Zach Zukowski going to round out our podium here in Pro Stock side by side. And I have to say, Brent Smith, wow, man, that was a great race. But if we saw anything tomorrow, World Championships on the line, CJ Greaves, he's got to be a little bit nervous. This is 2 races in a row here. Robert Loire has been pressuring him.
Yeah, it's not every day CJ gets knocked off the top of the pedestal, but guys have done it in the past. And, I mean, taking championships away. Ryan Muller, we didn't get a chance to talk about him today. He wasn't in our cameras, but he was there. He had an opportunity to beat CJ Greaves straight up. Loire, he had his shot. You know they're going to go back. You as a race car driver, too, you go back, fix your stuff, try to make it better. You have a couple guys always R&D-ing, making sure your stuff's good, but you always want to advance week in and week out.
Yeah, so you've got a shot there of our 3 podium finishers. Number 33 is CJ Greaves, number 52 of Robert Loire, the number 90 there of Zach Zukowski. We are going to take a short break here at Crandon, and when we return, we're going to catch up with our podium finishers here at the 50th annual Polaris Razor Crandon World Championship Off-Road Races.
All right, he's done it here. You know the name, CJ Greaves. Make your way out of that Yamaha. And I must say a big congratulations to you, as you are the 2019 Pro Stock Champion as well for this weekend. I know you guys are going to go for that Cup race in the World Championship tomorrow. Obviously, you got the Crandon Cup and the Amsoil Cup. The Red Bull Cup for all of that. Walk us through this weekend. I just saw you talking to Robert, and you're like, sorry, man, I got a little squirrely back there. What exactly happened?
Yeah, you know, the track is brutal. They ran, I think, super stock truck real long before us, so we knew we're not about to get any track prep. They're just going to throw down some water. So I knew in the beginning I was going to have to run the cushion, stay out of the water, and that seemed to work. And then Robert started running all the insides, and they're like, man, he's making it work. You're going to have to figure out how to run down there. So the caution after the halfway, I figured out, all right, I need to just settle down coming in, get it to stick to the bottom, and we were able to get a couple car lengths back and find our speed. But we were just able, with all them cautions, we were happy we survived it. So I can't thank all my crew. I mean, these guys worked their butts off. We went undefeated this year, never lost a race, and I think that's pretty special to us and them as well. So wherever they're at, all them guys, anyone who puts their hands on this thing, thank you guys so much. Monster Energy, Yamaha, Yamalube, Method Race wheels held up great all year, Maxxis tires, Fox shocks, Ames, Rugged Radios kept me talking to my spotter the whole time. Victory sign for the killer wrap, GYTR, all my crew, my family, my girlfriend. John's standing there, he wants one too, so we'll give him one. And thanks a lot.
Well, he's done it here, taking the top spot. He has also taken the 2019 championship. Heading over here to talk to Robert. Robert, that was quite a race. Obviously, CJ giving you mad props over there, just pushing it and pushing it. And we saw that towards the 7th lap, you got a little, you guys were talking about that. Walk us through, from your perspective, what it looked from going with CJ.
Yeah, I'm just so happy I'm able to stay with him. He is the guy to beat. He is the best in the biz, best in this class, and to be able to hang with him is just, it's just unreal. All the work that we've been doing the past 2 years with Polaris and all my sponsors is just finally paying off.
Well, I know it was quite a battle out there between 1 and 2 with you. What exactly was your spotter saying? I always love hearing what the spotters have to say because it's just direct communication between them and the driver, and it's just you two.
Yeah, and my sponsor is my wife, best friend, and she was actually really quiet this race, I think because I was actually doing what she wanted to do, and I was doing everything correct. Usually she's screaming at me, telling me to take different lines, but I think finally I got the lines worked out and was doing the right thing because she was staying pretty quiet.
Well, I know you got to thank a lot of people for bringing you here for the 50th and putting this Polaris Razor on the second place box.
Yeah, Polaris Razor, an awesome machine. Hoosier Tires, we got the new side-by-side tire we're running here. Just debuted this weekend. As you can see, it's working awesome. DWT wheels, Walker Evans Racing, Polaris lubricants, full spectrum power, AIM, rugged radios, TXT, SDI, and Holes Racing. Wife, Carlson Motorsports, of course. They've been helping me out the past couple of years. Built an awesome machine here. Family, wife, friends, mechanic, everything. Can't thank them enough.
Well, you've done it here, getting that second place box at the 50th anniversary. Walking over to our third place finisher, Zach Sikowski. Always love chatting with you. What are you doing? What do I do with my hands? You don't know what to do with your hands. Well, it was quite a race out there. Obviously, you got Robert and CJ right in front of you. Going into the last few laps, it was going to go into a green-white checkered. How do you keep yourself into the game, into the race, especially knowing you're going to have so many different restarts and have to get refocused?
It's hard because you get so pumped up and then you kind of get in your groove and you find out where you're catching someone or losing them. And then when you restart, it's just kind of back to like, oh, look at that bird up there. You don't really, kind of brings you back down. So it's hard, and then all you're doing is just protecting your lines instead of taking the lines you want. So it's tough.
Coming here for the 50th anniversary, I know this has got to be a big deal for you. You've been racing here for a while. What does it exactly mean to be here for the 50th anniversary?
It means a lot to me because I remember coming here with my dad when I was like 8, 9 years old and watching Johnny and all those big guys, and now I know them, and I'm driving a car you build, and it's cool to be a part of it. When I was a kid, I just thought I was just going to keep coming and watching, so it's awesome.
Well, we got to tell everybody, you're just still a big kid at heart, so it's always got to be great out here. I know you got to thank a few people to put you on top, or on the third place box here.
Yeah, I got to thank all these guys right here. Everyone from Kenda, they're giving me an amazing tire, grooving them. I mean, they've been so much help. Johnny Greaves' whole crew, my whole crew, Eric Von Sprecken, Matt, my spotter, my mom, dad, my sisters are here. Everyone that helps us.
Well, you've done it here. Another congratulations. Make your way up to the third place podium. And one more round of applause for our Pro Stock top 3 finishers and CJ Greaves for taking that top spot this year. Back up to you guys.